Thanks for watching. This clip was from our live show exclusively on odds.com. To watch the full video, hit the link below and get paid in full. Move on to Chargers Dolphins. Chargers Dolphins next up. Thank you guys so much for joining us here at odds.com. Chargers Dolphins. Dolphins open up at -2.5. That's where they stand right now across the board. Bodog, you know how they protect themselves from teasers and parlays. They're hanging the 3. The total opened up at 48.5. It has dropped down to 48. So that's where we stand. Chargers, Dolphins. And how do we not bet the over right now? It's dropped a half point. For 2 minutes, the Chargers thought they'd beaten the Raiders on Sunday. 2-6 Chargers. 2-6. This is the best 2-6 football team we've ever seen. At the Dolphins, 5-3, 2-2 at home. The replay review showed it wasn't even close. Wasn't a close replay.
Oh yeah, that was I was amazed that was called a catch on the field. But I mean, it looked on TV like it was a catch, but we're close to it. It wasn't even close.
Chargers had their 6th loss of the season, all by combined 24 points. You want to know how Anthony Lynn has a job? I want to know, because they're 2-15 in one-score games since early last season. When you guys were watching the Jets-Patriots game, you probably made money live betting the Patriots, because if it comes down to the last few minutes, who do you want, Belichick or Gase? Is that the easiest bet in the world? Belichick. Anthony Lynn is a loser. This guy loses. And I like him as a person, but we're talking about making money. And we're talking about winning football games. And he is a loser. He loses. Herbert had another strong game, 28 for 42, 326 yards, 2 TDs, 0 interceptions. I wish I was the coach. God damn. Since his debut in week 2, Herbert has passed for 2,146 yards, 17 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. And he's 1-6. Who do you blame? Anthony Lynn. My dad, I haven't talked to my dad about Anthony Lynn in the last few weeks. And I know he really likes him. My dad lives in LA, loves Anthony Lynn. I don't think he does anymore. That's my guess. Keenan Allen caught 9 passes for 103 yards. Mike Williams, 5 passes for 81 yards. And then Kalen Ballage. We got to see Kalen Ballage. He was signed to practice roster earlier in the year. We finally got to see him. And we all remember 8 touchdowns against Mahomes and Texas Tech. Nice to see him get a chance to roll here. He was signed to Chargers practice squad earlier in the season, called up to the game due to injuries. And, man, Arizona State product, 15 carries, 69 yards, 1 TD. He's talented. I don't know how he was left alone. Bulaga aggravated a back injury on the first series of a game. He's very important. He's listed as questionable. Running back Justin Jackson sustained a knee injury during the first quarter. He's listed as questionable to play. Defensive end Joey Bosa and running back Tremaine Pope inactive with concussions. They remain in concussion protocol. Trey Turner also remains questionable. I talked for too long. I want to talk about Tua, but I don't want to sit here waxing poetic. Let's talk about the Chargers first. Bebsy, Chargers, Dolphins.
Look, I want to take the Chargers in this spot just because I feel like it's time. It's time for Herbert to get a much-deserved win. Like you said, this guy is tearing it up as a rookie. He looks fantastic, and Anthony Lynn can't get him a W. And I was in the same camp as your dad for a long time. I liked Anthony Lynn. I really thought he was a great coach, and this year is just that little bit of doubt in the back of my mind saying maybe he's not. Maybe he's not very good. They never start on time season-wise. They get stronger as the season goes on. This year has just been like, how are you losing these games with how great you are getting a play from your quarterback right now? So I want to take the Chargers here. I can't, but I still don't have a ton of faith in Tua. Tua looked way better this week than he did the week before. He looked more comfortable. He looked like that player you saw at Alabama that was able to buy time but keep his eyes downfield, shift in the pocket, and still make the throw. He looked fantastic. I don't know what to expect from him still, because he looked horrendous week 1. He looked very good week 2. I feel like this game comes down to the wire, and if I'm just looking at coaches, Flores is a great coach. Anthony Lynn is not a good coach. So my lean has to then flip over to Miami. So I'm really torn on this play.
I'm very torn on the side as well. Very torn on the side as well. And odds, sorry, I answered as odds. That's, Slats, I'd love to answer that question fully. But basically, my dad tried to stop the cycle, and my grandpa, whom I never met, both my grandpas were dead before I was born. Actually, one grandpa was alive for 6 months, but my dad's dad, they called him Red because his face was always red, right, from the booze, and he's a beer in a shot guy. He's always drinking a beer in a shot. So I've not seen my dad drink hard alcohol in my life because he's tried to stop the cycle. I wouldn't let him stop the cycle. Okay, let's move on to the Dolphins. Dolphins coming off an impressive 34-31 win at Arizona. Tua Tagovailoa, 2-0 since replacing Fitzpatrick. Dolphins have won 4 straight. Tua 20-28 for 248 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Also ran 7 times for 38 yards. Showed great poise. Really great poise. Birdie sent me a question, and we never got to it. And it was before Tua's first start, and it keeps playing over in my head, and that's why I love capping with you guys so much. And there's certain cappers that stick in my head all the time. But Birdie wrote me this question, Bebsy. He wrote me this. He wrote, "Is Brian Flores an idiot?" And he asked me that question before Tua's first game. And I know where Birdie was going with it. He's not. He's a sharp, sharp man. And that's why we shouldn't have hated this move. And then we watched that first spot where he does nothing and they win.
I got to jump in and clarify that. I understood the play, and I was vocal about understanding the play and why you bring him in. The only thing I didn't like was that you were putting Tua in against Aaron Donald. That was my apprehension.
No, I agree. You made that pretty clear. You didn't dislike. You weren't sitting there going, Fitzpatrick's going to lead you to glory.
No, but I understood exactly why you couldn't keep playing Fitzpatrick, because if Fitzpatrick wins that game, then it's 3 in a row, and now you're saying, okay, now we're going to try Tua. Then the Miami fan base loses it.
No, I agree. I agree. But Birdie's question was bang on.
Absolutely. Brian Flores, and look, they said it on the Dan Patrick show as well. They're like, Brian Flores is not going to throw his season away. He's the one there making that decision. He believes Tua, and when people were saying, is this an audition for Tua Tagovailoa, Brian Flores was offended by that. He's like, no, it's not an audition. Like, I'm trying to win football games. So, yeah, no, I get it. My sole apprehension was putting him out there against Aaron Donald.
No, I hear you. And Birdie was believing that Flores was not an idiot, and that's why.
It's a great question, and he's bang on, because Brian Flores has been nothing but impressive as a head coach.
The problem with the over, and the reason why this has gone from 48.5 down to 48, in my estimation, and I still think I'm going to bet it once we're done discussing this game, is that Myles Gaskin's out of the lineup. Breda has been bad all year, but he's itching to get back in. And this is his opportunity. Gaskin on injured reserve. Breda out with a hamstring injury. This is Breda's time to show everything he showed us with the Niners.
Yes, but he showed us with the Niners that he's very one-dimensional, and also, look, he was in Shanahan's doghouse for the last half of last season for a reason. And we all know what Mike Shanahan and Kyle Shanahan get out of running backs. They take guys off the scrap heap. They take unrestricted free agents or undrafted free agents, and they get a ton of production out of them. But Breida kept putting the ball on the ground, and he really could only get it going when he got out into space. Breida could fly, but he's got to get outside the tackles in order to do that.
No, I hear you. I think this Dolphins team is set up nicely for running backs, and that's why Salvon Ahmed ran 7 times for 38 yards. Miami came in, and I was surprised. I didn't realize the stat when I found it. Miami came in allowing the fewest points per game in the NFL. The Dolphins. They had 5 assistant coaches unavailable on Sunday because of COVID-19 protocols. Wide receiver Preston Williams left the game in the second quarter, didn't return with a foot injury. He's day-to-day. He's questionable to play this week. Durham Smythe, their tight end, was evaluated for a concussion in the second half. He's in concussion protocol. Cornerback Jamal Perry remains questionable. This is going to be fun. Herbert, Tua, over.
Yeah, I'm with you there. This over seems like a real nice play here. And I think this is going to be a great game to watch. There's 2 rookie quarterbacks drafted 2 spots apart. It's going to be. I think it ends up being a display of young talent from both of these guys, and for that reason, I'm in on the over here.
Do you know? Before we do that, I think Birdie's right. Says this Charger team looked gutted after that game last week. First time I've seen that much emotion from a loss. Didn't they? They looked. It was such an exciting. I mean, the reason why we love sports.
They looked dejected.
Yeah.
And also, like, I don't know why, but for some reason, Anthony Lynn's reaction when he saw the angle of that replay that showed that it clearly wasn't a catch. That reaction's burned into my brain right now, and I'm not sure why, and I'm not even sure what it means. But he just kind of like he didn't even look disappointed. It just looked very matter of fact for him. He was just like, "Oh yeah, it's not it." Like he had this. He didn't. Yes, he was upset, but it was just a strange reaction. I don't know if you can go back if you have DAZN or something, and you can watch because he's looking up at the jumbotron, and the moment he sees that it's clearly not a catch, his reaction is just, it's not the reaction you would expect. It's not anger, it's not sadness, it's just kind of like, it's not a catch. Like, it's so weird.
I'm scared to fade this Chargers team, but I mean, look, if Bosa's out, then it's slam dunk.
Yeah,
but if Bosa's out, the 2.5 goes away.
I mean, concussion protocol, 2 weeks, he's got to be back. There's a reason I don't want to fade the Chargers team that's beyond all of this, is if you look back at their last 3 years under Anthony Lynn, is the latter half of the season, they seem to get it together. And they push for the playoffs. So this is why I can't bet this, because I want, my logic says Miami, but look, we've seen this Chargers team back half of seasons the last 3 years in a row start piling up wins.
Yeah, and they're due. We know that doesn't exist. God, I'm with Birdie. I did not expect to sit here and cap this into the Dolphins, but this is a Dolphins team that believes. This is a Chargers team that's running scared. Okay, well, I'm certainly moving on the over. Bebsy, you want the over. Let's get it for you right now here at odds.com, the odds page here on odds.com. Let's get it for you, Bebsy. The total in this spot is, how is it? Here we go. I can give you a 47.5. There's one left at BetMGM at minus 115. I don't know how you're getting a 47.5, but you're getting one.
I'm getting one, and I want it.
BetMGM. and that's at minus 115. I'm going to be on that over too. And God, I'm leaning towards the Dolphins. God, okay. I'm definitely going to be on the over. I think I'll be on the Dolphins.
I'll say this. If you're on the fence in this game, which I clearly am, one team I fully believe adores their coach, and the other team is probably wondering when their coach is getting fired. So if that's enough to push you onto one side of the fence, I'm almost talking myself into Miami right now. But
I think it's well put. I think what you just said was well put. Yeah. And that's what Birdie figured out when he was talking about that.